What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in again for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know, really trying to grow the channel this year, so would definitely appreciate you hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. So I kind of had an idea for a video here today. I just kind of something to help you guys. Anyone who's watching this video, I feel like you need to have this item in your boat. Whatever possible, whatever kind of boat you have, even a small kayak. If it has a motor, you need to have this piece of equipment in your boat anytime you go out on the water. And really, I kind of came up with this idea. You know, it's the off season from our tournaments, so I'm kind of in the process of selling this boat, going through, been switching back and forth between this and the low, kind of, you know, just changing things over. And I kind of realized there's a piece of equipment that I keep in this boat that has to stay in there at all times. And, you know, I almost went to the lake the other day without it in there. And it was something that I actually made sure I put back in the boat just for emergency purposes. So if you guys are ready, let's jump up in the boat and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, that little trick step's handy. I like that thing. I got rods all over the deck. I'm heading out on the lake in the morning, so don't take any peeks at my baits, that's for sure. But what I'm talking about, this is something that you always got to keep in your boat. It's something I've been guilty of not keeping in my boat before, and that's a spare prop. So I found this cool little bag. I don't even know who makes it. Oh, there it is. DD26 makes this bag, and it will store your spare prop in there. Keeps it protected. Comes with these kind of protective sleeves that keeps you know, the edges of the prop from getting dinged and damaged, and even bouncing around in your rod locker. You know, Phoenixes actually come with a spare prop storage back in the battery compartment, but I run so many batteries in the boat that I had to get rid of the prop storage. So I'm stuck putting it up in this front locker up here. So I lose a little bit of tackle storage, but super important to have a spare prop in the boat just for emergency purposes. You know, if you guys followed the channel, you've seen this year I actually threw a blade off of a prop and threw it up in the air, you know, early on in the season.
Blade.
Yeah, I looked back and it was pretty.
I saw it at the back of that tree back there.
And you know, those things are out of your control. I didn't hit anything. I didn't do anything wrong. Just mechanically, the prop had failed. This happens with all different brands of props. You know, Furies, Scorpion. Doesn't matter what prop you run. It's bound to fling a blade off, and then you're stranded. I mean, in that case, my boat would not get back up on pad, so I could only idle. With the two blades that were left, I could only idle about a couple miles an hour. And, you know, if you were a long ways away from the boat ramp, didn't have any other options, you would be in trouble. You would be a long idle to get back to the ramp, or a very expensive tow job. You know, getting a boat towed on the water is very expensive. So you don't want to have that happen. You know, the cool thing about the spare prop in your boat, it doesn't have to be an expensive prop, a high dollar prop. It doesn't have to be the most best performing prop for your boat. All it has to do is function. All it has to do is get your boat up on pad so you can cruise back and get back safety. You know, if you fish tournaments, it's extremely important to have a spare prop just to get back for, you know, your weigh-in. If you make a long run and you catch some fish there, and then something happens to your prop, you're not going to be able to make it back. So having a spare prop in the boat, and to go along with it, having the tools to change it, whether it's on the water or if you ease into a dock or just shallow enough water you can get out. But definitely got to have this in your bass boat. If you own a bass boat, you got to have a spare prop in there. And this also goes for your trolling motor as well. So I keep a spare trolling motor prop in the boat as well. And you know, same goes if you're a you know, a kayak angler that only has an electric motor on there. I know it's tough on storage, but you got to make sure you keep those extra props around in the boat. It's a safety thing to help you get back. And really, you know, for me, I always want to be prepared on the water, prepared for the worst. You know, I want to be prepared if I make a 60-mile boat ride and something happens to my prop. I want to know for sure that I can get back to my truck safely. And you know, if I got fish in a tournament, to get back. And same goes for the trolling motor prop. You know, that's generally speaking, the trolling motor props are more self-inflicted. You know, I like me hitting a stump or hitting a rock or something and breaking the blade off the prop. So generally those are your own fault, but it's still good to have just to save your butt on, you know, and be able to enjoy your day on the water. Just quickly change out the prop. So make sure you got a spare prop in your boats. But appreciate you guys watching this video. Hopefully you learned something. I'd love to hear the comments. Drop them in down in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time.